Now, breaking news reaching us from our senior reporter Melissa Reddy, and Michael Bridges here to discuss it as well. Melissa reporting that Daniel Levy, the Spurs owner, the Spurs chairman, will be pragmatic, quote, amid huge pressure to reappoint Mauricio Pochettino as Tottenham manager, with several players and staff pleading with the Argentine to return to the club. There is growing belief that Antonio Conte, who is out of contract this summer, don't forget, will leave sooner than that. There are 12 games left in the Premier League campaign, and that's all Tottenham have got to play for now. Conte's work ethic and commitment to management has never been in question. He's well liked at Spurs. However, there is wide realisation, Melissa reports, that his energy and effectiveness has depreciated. Senior members of Tottenham's squad want to return to the style of play that Pochettino implemented before he was sacked in November 2019. They also feel the development of players has been neglected. While Pochettino is warmly viewed by the hierarchy, club directors, and Levy in particular, won't be swayed by emotion. As much as they remember the heights of his tenure, the reasons why it ended haven't been ignored. It's understood Tottenham already have a list of candidates in place. If Conte does go, Pochettino will be considered, but Spurs are one of 3 Premier League clubs looking at Brighton's Roberto De Zerbi. Luis Enrique, Thomas Tuchel, Marco Silva believed to be in the equation, while Brentford's Thomas Frank also appeals. The Real Madrid president, Florentino Perez, meanwhile, wants Pochettino to be Carlo Ancelotti's successor at the Bernabeu. Lots to take in, Michael Bridge. Where do you want to start?
Let's just start with Antonio Conte, because I think that's only right because he's still in the job. Looking at him, obviously he returned for the first time since obviously came back from surgery, wasn't ready, returned fully. But I still didn't see the animated Antonio Conte like I've seen and Spurs fans have seen for the past season, but predominantly last season. It didn't feel like a Champions League last 16 tie last night, Nick. The atmosphere was fantastic at the start. The fans were brilliant. But I just think they felt flat quite early on because you didn't feel that it was Tottenham chasing to score. It was actually Milan in front. And in the end, Milan, I think there are much better Milan sides in the past, and Spurs have beaten much better Milan sides. The famous Peter Crouch and Lennon double duo in the San Siro, I remember, with Nesta, Seedorf, Robinho. You know, I think both sides were quite evenly matched, and you know, Harry Kane has just said the same on Spurs TV. He looked very disappointed. He wasn't much between the two sides. But post-match, obviously, Antonio Conte very disappointed. He did mention the fact that the club were in the Conference League last year, and Spurs, you know, have done a lot since. But this season's been a tough one and a bit of a tough watch, and it's obviously been a tough year for Conte personally, and if that maybe affects how he feels going forward. But I asked Antonio Conte if the plan was still to speak to the board and Daniel Levy at the end of the season, or if they're going to bring that forward a little bit. This is what he said to me last night.
I think that this is not the right day to speak about my future, but my future is not. I have a contract. I have a contract with Tottenham, and then Tottenham know very well that which is my thoughts. And at the end of the season, and then we'll make a decision. I'm happy to work in Tottenham, but you know the club knows very well which is my vision, which are my thoughts about the situation.
So you quite rightly remind us that he is in a job, but if there is a vacancy and if the choice is Mauricio Pochettino, how delighted or otherwise would Spurs fans be?
I think the vast majority, I mean, the fans loved him. What they loved about him was his passion for the football club. He still holds a very good relationship with Daniel Levy. Whether he has that relationship with every board member, I'm not so sure, but he loves the club. His coaching staff still love the club, Jesus Perez in particular. But look, as I said, fans feel drained and they're hurt. They're hurt by the Sheffield United FA Cup defeat. Everyone bangs on about Spurs not winning enough trophies. Then Antonio said to me on Tuesday about Spurs needing to win trophies, yet they rested Harry Kane for the Sheffield United game. Now, I understand it's a long season, but for me, you know, you have to play Harry Kane in those games. Also, we have to look at this as well. How does it look on Spurs that they sacked Mauricio Pochettino, brought in Jose Mourinho? They sacked him. Nuno Espirito Santo was clearly a mistake. Then brought in Antonio Conte, those managers on big contracts. So you're going round and round and round again, and you're going back to Mauricio Pochettino. Then here comes the Harry Kane issue. You know, a few summers ago, we talked about Harry Kane's future, and Spurs held the power there because of Harry Kane's long contract. The summer coming, not this summer coming, but the summer after, well, he will be out of contract. He loves Tottenham Hotspur. He was delighted when Antonio Conte was appointed. Now, this is Melissa's story. Is one of the players Harry Kane wants in Pochettino, but we don't know. But he also had a good relationship with Mauricio Pochettino. But, you know, this could be a humongous rebuild for Tottenham Hotspur this summer if Harry Kane decides to sit down with Daniel Levy and say, Daniel, I love the club, but I'm reaching my 30s now and I need to win something. You look at it as well, we talk about signings. Richarlison, 60 million. He's come out and criticised Conte publicly. That's not going to go down well. He might have a point in some bits, but he hasn't scored in the Premier League so far this season. Yves Bissouma was another, at the time, looked like a brilliant signing from Brighton. He's not worked out at the moment.
Okay.
Well, I mean, we'll just see. But what we do know is that we've got a presser with Antonio Conte tomorrow at 1:30, and hopefully we'll get more on that and his future.